Howdy everyone, Poacher here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we are doing the Hero Spotlight for Sid, the boss of the Chaos Spawn. We'll go over his stats, his abilities, and have a bit of a mess around with him in the arena and talk about how he may be useful in the game. Coming in with his stats though, we have 25 million for hit points that completely maxed out, speed 240, armor 385k, magic damage resistance 667k, basic magic damage 3 million, magic critical hit chance is 51, and magic critical damage is 4.1 million. The more in-depth stats are here. Feel free to use this information how you see fit. It is there for you. So now we'll jump into the arena. We'll go over this character's abilities and a little bit about the faction. Jumping into the arena, we have Sid's basic ability, Comet. Performs a magic attack on one target, increases damage by 15% for every dead allied spawn, has a 50% chance to deal damage to every other enemy. Awakening this ability offers it a further 50% damage, and damage to shields is increased by 100%. We'll go ahead and look at the animation of the ability now. Casting Comet, as you can see, it's a blast of cosmic energy on the enemies. Visually looks beautiful. Moving on to Sid's second ability, we have Fickle Nebula. Cast the Die For Me buff on the caster for 2 turns. 80% of the damage received by Sid is redirected evenly to all other allied spawn. Cast the Frame Up debuff on the enemy with the lowest percent of HP for 2 turns. Damage received is increased by 50%. The framed enemy also receives 35% of the damage received by other enemies. Cast 3 stacks of damage increase on the caster with 2 additional stacks per dead allied spawn. The next attack will deal 20% more damage for every stack. The buff is removed after the attack. Stack limit is 10. Awakening this ability casts more stacks of bonus damage on the caster. The framed enemy receives more damage and gets a higher percent of damage redirected from other enemies. So we'll go ahead and look at the animation of the ability. Beautiful. Summons a galaxy on the floor. Absolutely stunning. And as you can see, the debuff is cast on the enemy's Skara. So when you are distributing damage, she's going to take more damage, and enemies that take damage as well, part of that damage is redirected to her. So it's a way of eliminating a target quite quickly from the enemy team. Moving on to Sid's third ability, we have Black Hole. Destroys all enemy shields. Dispels all buffs on the target and one random enemy. Additionally, removes all effects from one more additional target for every dead allied spawn. Performs a magic attack on all enemies. Damage is increased by 15% per dispelled effect. Casts 2 stacks of Event Horizon on the targets. Reduces target speed by 50%. 1 stack is removed each time damage is taken, except through dot effects. If a stack is removed by any other method, then the target takes damage equal to 30% of their maximum HP. Awakening this ability increases the damage by 50%, also increases the stacks of Event Horizon from 2 stacks to 3 stacks, and reduces the effect of the speed debuff from 50% to 70%. So there is the potential for this ability to do a lot of damage if that debuff is removed through any other means other than the enemy taking damage. Looking at the animation of the ability, Sid summons a black hole with cosmic hands and deals a decent amount of damage while removing the shields completely from the enemy. Versing a faction like the guards, however, is super beneficial since they do have benefits from having that shield through counterattack, and I believe initiative cannot be reduced while shield is present on them. So very effective ability, has decent utility and damage as well. Moving on to Sid's leadership ability, we have Ruler of Cosmos. All damage taken by Sid is reduced by 10% for every other living allied spawn. Sid's maximum HP is increased by 12% for every dead allied spawn. Damage taken by all other allies is reduced by 6% for every dead allied spawn. Allies recover 40% of initiative when an ally dies. The cooldown of all allies' abilities is reduced by 2 when an allied spawn dies. In the arena and tournament at the start of battle, damage received by all allies is reduced by 20% for 2 turns. Awakening his leader, Sid's ability damage is increased by 7% for every allied spawn dead. In the tournament, if Sid survives till the end of battle, he revives all allied spawn with 50% of maximum HP. So very interesting leadership ability. As you can see, the Design of the hero is inspired by Troran and Dracona. He gains abilities or strength from his allies being dead or alive. There's a benefit to both of them, but as they start to perish, there are more benefits that start to take effect. And he has been designed to be a little bit more powerful in PvP as well. So we'll move on to his passive, and then we'll jump into a battle. Moving on to Sid's passive, we have Whole and Undivided. Sid cannot receive buffs, shields, or healing from allied light heroes, nor can he be revived by them. Sid receives the following bonuses with the death of these allies. Aked, Sid restores 50% of his maximum HP to all allies at the start of his turn. And Superior, if an enemy has less than 25% HP during Sid's turn, Sid will perform an additional basic attack on them, ignoring any attempts to hide. If several targets meet this condition, he will attack the one with the lowest HP. Awakening this ability, as long as at least one other allied spawn is alive, enemies cannot debuff Sid to reduce his initiative. Sid increases his initiative by 12% for every allied spawn dead after every enemy turn. So a bit of an initiative boost there. Overall, more of a utility upgrade when awakening. And that concludes the spotlight for Sid, the leader of the Chaos Spawn. Just for fun, we'll have a match against the Goos, see how they perform, though keep in mind these heroes are still in development, so things could change. Jumping into the arena, we have a full Chaos Spawn team, so we'll describe as much as we can. Going up against the Guardians, we're going to start with our second on Superior, moving over to Gull after that. Now, Gull is a very interesting hero. He is the tank, and he gets a lot of strength from absorbing power from his allies. As you can see, that stack on him moves from 10 to 14. That is very beneficial to him. Moving on to Aked. Now, Aked is an interesting healer as well. They're very interesting heroes altogether. Aked gets stronger as his health decreases. Moving on to Sid, we are going to use his second. And then we will move on to Luxuria. Now, Luxuria is the only champion or hero in the squad that I have zero clue about. Absolutely no idea how she operates. You're probably like, just click on her abilities and find out. I can't. There is no description just yet. So we're going to use them from right to left, and we'll just get a grasp of what they can do. As you can see, she has a bit of crowd control put in her. She's able to put characters to sleep somehow, and she does apply a new debuff as well. So not sure what either of those do. Oh, I know what the sleep does. It puts them to sleep. CC, wonderful. But the other debuff, not sure. So Gull is going to use his big King Kong smash now. As you can see, a lot of damage, huge amounts of damage. And now we are over to Gull again. And as you can see, he's quite quick as well. So we're going to go ahead and try and take out this Omphis if we can. Beautiful. Omphis down, 2 characters. Now, we can choose to either try and eliminate some jars or try and eliminate the heroes. We'll keep going for the heroes. We'll get the Event Horizon debuff out with the Black Hole. There is 3 jars on the field. Now, if we can take out the Impus, it is as good as sealed for the Guardians, as there will be no way for them to really come back from Canopic jars unless we kill the jar themselves, I believe. I know they do not have the ability to come back from their jars when an ally or enemy is killed due to Impus not being alive. There we go. So yeah, pretty much set here. We can take out the Siri. We're going to move it up to a 4x speed because at this point in time, it is a very, very drawn out fight because of the damage reduction that is given when there are Canopic jars on the field. So this Chaos Spawn, yeah, very interesting faction. They are very, very versatile in the way they work. As you can see, Siri did kill someone on the team, but the jars did not come back. We could probably actually quicken this fight up by trying to eliminate the jars and remove a lot of the damage reduction. And there we go, taken care of. So yeah, very, very interesting faction. They are very versatile from what I've heard. So you could probably mix and match some heroes into this team. But they do get a lot of strength from working together as well. So keep that in mind. And as always, remember, this team or these heroes are yet to be released into the game. So there is always chance that they are changed or altered in some way. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you're around the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.